Hey there, Asker here. Welcome to my channel. In this series, let's start from where we left off. So in this series, we are going to be creating the camera movement and I will be showing you how to create all the levels for this hyper casual game. So let's start. Let's create a new C# script and name it to camera movement. Now drag and drop the script inside of our camera parent and double click to open it. Let's add some public variables. Public float, camera speed equivalent to 0.1 1f, public vector 3, camera velocity. Now inside of our update method, we don't need the start method, so right inside of our update method, transform dot position plus or equal to vector 3 dot forward into camera speed. Now also set the camera velocity equal to vector 3 dot forward into camera speed. Just copy and paste the above code. Now let's go into player controller and inside of the update function, let's move our player with our camera. So transform dot position plus or equivalent to find object of type camera controller dot camera velocity. We are just setting the camera velocity to our player, so that our player and camera moves together. As you can see in the inspector or the scene window that our camera and player are moving together. Yeah, everything works fine. So now let's fix that movement of our Z axis. Let's clamp our player to a certain area. So create a new game object and name it to Z bound under our camera parent and set its position to 15 on the Z and add a box color to it and set its scale size to 10 on the X and 5 on the Y. As you can see, we have placed it just behind our player. So now when we play, the player won't be going beyond the screen and it will be hitting the box collider. Okay, so we have restricted our player C movement. Also now I am gonna show you how to create your levels. So I have all the game objects required for creating this level. As you can see, we have a cube, cylinder, triangle, sphere, etc. Just explore all of them. So now let's create a empty game object and name it to level 1 and reset its position and drag and drop our cube and just copy and duplicate them and set it as you like. Use your brain, use your imagination. Place it anywhere, be creative. Place a sphere, now place another game object. Just keep on duplicating it. Now copy all of this and place it on the next side. Copy everything, move to the left. As you can see, we have a basic objects in our scene and all of them have a rigid body and a box collider attached to it. So as we play, our player will be colliding with them. Okay, and also we have this problem that our objects are getting stuck into our Z bound. So we'll be fixing that also. Okay, so first create two layers, one for the Z bound and one for the player. You now add the layer to the player and the z bound layer to our z bound. Okay. So now let's go into edit project settings, and inside of our physics tab you can see our layer collision matrix. We don't want our default layer, that is our default objects, to collide with the z bound. So we are just gonna uncheck the z bound. Okay, now save your scene and just run it. As you can see, they all have the default layer tag. Now let's test it out. Okay, so as you can see, the player is colliding with them, but the game objects, as you see, they are not colliding with the z bound. So we have fixed that issue also. So this is how you create your level. You can also change the materials of every game object, also give them a unique look, and you can also import your own game objects. And while changing the material, keep in mind that either you can unpack the prefab or change the prefab as a whole. So here is one example of unpacking one. So only that instance will have its material change and the other will remain red. Okay. So use your imagination, be creative, create your own levels, and I'm gonna be using my own levels. So now let's first prefab our camera parent and our player. Drag and drop both of them into our prefabs folder. Okay. So I'm gonna be importing the levels that I created earlier. As you can see, I have total of 9 levels created. You will be getting the link to download 2 levels for free, and if you require more levels, then you need to pay me $1, or you are good to go. You can create your own. Okay, as you can see, there are 9 levels, and we can directly run our game from here. We don't need to set up anything extra. We will obviously be creating our game manager, etc. for in the future. So this is how our level 1, level 2 looks like. And also we need to fix something. We need to fix our player's Y position. So let's freeze our Y position. So now let's run it one last time. As you can see, now our player is not moving on the Y axis. Earlier we had that glitch. So now it's also improved. Yeah, so let's see in the next lecture. And also don't forget to subscribe, because I have new augmented reality tutorials coming soon. So stay tuned. Subscribe for more. Thank you.